Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Thanks for coming today. It's good to see y'all. Say, I've just got a few things I want to talk to you about before you get started with your learning. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is your test that you took. And some of you done and took the test and you didn't do so hot. So what I got here for you, oops, you can't see that. Can I change this? Can I do that? You can't change it. Wait a minute, that's me. How do I go back? Maybe you can see that. Okay. So do you see up here where it says distance learning retake form? This is something that you can do if you want to get a better score on the test. It's not going to be the same. You're not actually going to be retaking the test. You're just going to be trying to get a few points back. So that's there if you want to retake the test. The other thing I put up here is a take attendance button because many of you little kittens haven't been taking attendance. So we need to do that too. Sound good? All right. So, first thing we're going to start out with here today is this picture. Can you see that? Have you seen that before? Raise your hand if you've seen a rock face like that before. That's what I thought. This is called sedimentary rock. And you notice that it's got these layers in it. And what that tells you is those layers have been laid down over many, many millions of years. And they kind of tell the story of how life has changed on Earth. We can look at those layers of rock and it can tell us how life has evolved, how it's changed. So guess what something is that we could find in that rock that might tell us a little bit about how life has changed? I think I heard it. It's called a fossil. And let's go back to this for just a minute. So the other day when you answered some questions about the geologic time scale, you remember that? And you were supposed to use this to help you answer some questions, but some of y'all just went in there and started willy-nilly answering questions, getting them all wrong, because we weren't looking at everything that we were supposed to look at, and that was a shame. So, hopefully you done learned that you need to look at your resources, okay? So, you notice that this scale has some different little lines on it and such. And down here, this is when life on Earth first started. Actually, there wasn't much going on. We call that the Precambrian. And there's all these other little eras, periods of time. Now, if we were at school and we weren't in the middle of this pandemic, we'd learn a lot more about this. But some of you probably done seen this already just a little bit. So you probably heard of the Jurassic. You may have seen some movies about the Jurassic, something about dinosaurs or what have you. So when we think about the geologic time scale, we've got these big sections of time, and usually what that means, every time we get into a new era, something real bad happened, where a whole bunch of life died. You know what that's called when a whole bunch of life dies off? It starts with an E, rhymes with distinction. Yep, I heard it. It's extinction. Very good. Okay. So you've got the Triassic, the Jurassic, the Cretaceous. So you were just supposed to look at this and answer some questions, get an idea of how life on Earth has changed. And so the question is, how do we know? How do we know this? We weren't there 181 million years ago. What is there that tells us this story? I think I heard you say it. It's called fossils. So today, we're going to learn a little bit about fossils. And most kids think that fossils are bones. Somehow there's just bones buried deep in the ground. But they're really not bones. They're formed much differently than that. So today you're going to learn a little bit about how fossils are made and what makes a good fossil. What makes good conditions for making fossils and such. And then you're going to be looking at the record in the rock. I'm going to have a diagram for you that you're going to look at, and it's going to show you some different fossils. We call that the rock record or the fossil record because that's where we find fossils. And it kind of just gives us a story of how life has evolved and how things just aren't the same as they used to be. So I'm going to go over to our Google Classroom, and I'm going to show you what you're going to be doing today. So here is where you're at right now. Start here. Some of y'all just been going right down to the questions. Then you're going to watch a brain pop. It's about how fossils are made. Now something a little bit different is you're going to take a brain pop quiz, but it's in the form of a Google form. And that's just going to help me grade it a little bit easier, if that makes sense. It just goes right in, and you don't have to do a screenshot or nothing, just makes it nice and easy for you. And then we have a special chart that you're going to open up. It's called the rock layers diagram. You're going to have that open, and instead of a worksheet where you'd write your answers down, we again have a Google form. It's not a quiz, it's just a quick way to answer questions, and it's a quick way for me to be able to know what you did and what you didn't do. So there's 10 questions on here. If you're getting 2 and 3 like some of you did on the last one, that tells me that we weren't using our resources or we weren't being real careful. So we need to do that. Now what I want you to do on the stream, when you're done, I'm going to see who all watched this video, and I want you to tell me, what character am I playing right now? Let's see who can get that right. I'll put it right here. What character is Mrs. Lund playing? We'll see if you know that. All right, all you cool cats and kittens, you have yourself a great day. I'm going to go tend to my cats.